Welcome to the Curious Culture Club. Today, we're diving into the tragic events of September 11th, 2001, a day that forever changed the course of history. On this fateful morning, 4 commercial airplanes were hijacked mid-flight. 2 were flown into the North and South Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, causing both to collapse within hours. Another plane targeted the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, while the 4th, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed into a field in Pennsylvania after passengers bravely attempted to regain control. The attacks resulted in the tragic loss of nearly 3,000 lives, sending shockwaves around the globe and prompting the United States to declare a war on terror. But as the dust settled, questions began to surface. Discrepancies in the official narrative sparked curiosity, skepticism, and suspicion. Yet despite the official narrative, many have questioned the events of that fateful day, giving birth to a plethora of conspiracy theories. In the aftermath of the attacks, a wave of alternative theories began to surface, challenging the mainstream account. A myriad of these theories began to question the official narrative. Some proposed the idea of an inside job, suggesting that elements within the US government or intelligence agencies orchestrated the attacks for geopolitical gain or to justify increased surveillance powers. Other theories pointed to the involvement of other nations or global elites, alleging a complex web of secret alliances and covert operations. The unusual collapse of the Twin Towers and Building 7 was cited as evidence of a controlled demolition, a theory bolstered by questions surrounding the physics of the building's fall. The mystery surrounding Flight 93, which crashed in a Pennsylvania field, also fueled speculation. The lack of substantial debris at the crash site raised eyebrows, with theorists suggesting the plane had been shot down or never existed at all. Each theory, in its own way, seeks to explain the inconsistencies and unanswered questions left behind by the official narrative. The unofficial narratives often center around several key events on that day, events that, according to these theorists, just don't add up. Let's delve into the controlled demolition theory. This theory posits that the World Trade Center towers, and also Building 7, were brought down by a controlled explosion, not by the impact of the planes or the subsequent fires. Proponents of this theory point to the speed and symmetry of the collapses, arguing that only a deliberate demolition could cause such a phenomenon. Then there's the Pentagon attack. Some theorists question whether a plane could have caused the damage seen at the Pentagon. They point to the relatively small hole in the facade of the building and the lack of large, identifiable plane debris as evidence that the official story doesn't hold up. And then there's World Trade Center 7, a 47-story skyscraper that wasn't hit by a plane, yet collapsed into its own footprint late in the afternoon on September 11th. Theories suggest that the collapse was too neat, too symmetrical to have been caused by fires alone. But why? Why would anyone orchestrate such a devastating event? The theorists suggest a range of potential motives. Some believe it was to justify geopolitical agendas, from invasions to control of oil resources. Others suggest it was a means to increase surveillance powers and control over the populace. The unofficial narratives propose that elements within the US government and intelligence agencies knew about or even orchestrated the attacks. These narratives suggest that the real culprits are not terrorists from afar, but actors much closer to home. These theories are fueled by discrepancies, unanswered questions, and perceived anomalies in the official account. They thrive in the space between what we know and what we don't, and they continue to persist 2 decades after that fateful day. Yet, as compelling as these theories may be, they are not without their critics. While these alternative theories have gained traction, many experts and skeptics have sought to debunk them. They've provided scientific explanations for the collapse of the towers and the Pentagon attack. For instance, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, in its 8-year study, concluded that intense heat from the jet fuel fires weakened the steel structure of the towers, leading to their collapse. As for the Pentagon attack, skeptics argue that the impact of a high-speed jet coupled with the resulting fireball explains the extensive damage and the relatively small debris field. Criticisms of the conspiracy theories often point to a lack of tangible evidence, reliance on speculation, and an overemphasis on anomalies in the official narrative. Attempts to discredit them revolve around the enormous complexity and the implausible number of people needed to carry out such a conspiracy in silence. Whether you subscribe to the official narrative or entertain the idea of a conspiracy, it is clear that the events of 9/11 continue to fuel debate and speculation to this day.